Hello, welcome to the West Ham Grumble on Irons United with me, Alf Gasparo. So, what a week it's been in the West Ham world again. We came off a great result of Chelsea, and then we went up to Wolverhampton Wanderers at Molineux, and I think we got taught a lesson again, really, didn't we? I think we started quite well, and I think from one aspect, our performance was really quite good. A lot more committed than it has been in previous weeks. A lot more purpose. We were better in defence. I think Balbuena for the most part did okay. But again, it's our problem wasn't really so much defending. It was actually going forward, and that's where we really struggled. Again, creating chances, creating clear-cut chances. We're getting the ball. We're having some decent interchange of play, some good possession football to a certain degree up until the final third, and then we're struggling to convert from that position that we're in into a goal-scoring opportunity, or even just trying to get a shot on goal. We had a couple of opportunities, of course. Fornals came close, really, with a great shot. Snodgrass, had a great opportunity, just couldn't quite get it under control. Poor second touch, really, went away from him, and then obviously got injured, so he had to go off as well. But up front for me, I think the frustration is Haller. Haller for me, yes, and there is the argument that again we're not really playing to his strengths, and we're not really utilising him in the way he has been accustomed to. However, we have bought this player to be a striker, and with any striker there needs to be mobility, and he hasn't got enough mobility for me. He's just not showing enough, and he's just not mobile enough. And whether we're supporting him or not, it's just not enough running off the ball. There were little glimpses where he would be pressurising either the keeper or one of the defenders, but then it was kind of haphazard. Most of the time he's just walking around, and then he's like 2 or 3 steps behind the play. He's not even anticipating where the ball is going to go to, or potentially could go to. Anderson, I thought, had a much better game, actually, especially the first half, the first sort of 20, 25 minutes. I thought he was doing really quite well. Went off the boil for the next 10 minutes, came back in for the last 5 minutes. Second half, in and out of the game, really. But overall, a much better performance from him. I think Rice and Noble had in different games. On the one hand, Rice and Noble, they were either trying to dictate play or they were putting in last-ditch tackles. But at the same time, they were giving the ball away, and they were putting a lot of pressure on the defence as well. Some great last-ditch defending, especially in the first half before we conceded. But you could feel the momentum growing with Wolverhampton Wanderers. They were getting more time on the ball, more possession. They were quicker going forward. There, Traore on the right-hand side was, causing all sorts of problems, and he was sucking the attraction out of our left-hand side, really, to cover him as well. So, and he was getting a lot of success on that side, both in the first half and in the second half as well. Martin, I thought, had a decent game. Yeah, he let in 2 goals, but I wouldn't put those to him at all, especially the first goal and even the second goal, really. I mean, they weren't down to him. He made some good quality saves. If it wasn't for Martin, almost Fabianski-like. If it wasn't for him, we could have lost this 4-0, 5-0, really. He made another 2 or 3 very, very good saves. Good body positioning, rushed out, narrowed the angles. So, again, top draw from him. He can hold his head high. I think a lot of the players can hold their head high, actually, because they weren't. It wasn't a lackluster performance. There was effort there, and you could see they were trying to do it. But really, they just come up against a Wolves side who are just better. I think we can't underestimate how good this Wolverhampton Wanderers side is. They're just a good quality side. They've got quality all over the pitch, and each individual player is very comfortable in possession and also being able to convert possession retention into making forward plays and creating all over the pitch as well. Whereas our players were just not good at it. How many times were we sloppy going forward, mistimed tackles, let's say, or misplaced passes, or we couldn't really get the ball under control, or we would get it under control and then on second touch just let the ball go away. Fredericks did it numerous times. Wasn't too sure about Fredericks' game tonight. I thought he had made lots of mistakes. Obviously, Snoddy, with his second touch there. His delivery at times, I think he was down to a good 40-50% of success rate of actually getting the ball past the first defender, whether on corners. He actually got better as the game progressed, I got to say, until he got taken off. Yarmolenko came on. I don't think he really did much, really, did he? Good to see Nathan Holland come on, actually, and get a tackle. But, again, he didn't really have a chance to show a lot. He had a couple of touches. He ran a couple of times. There was a couple of opportunities where he had the ball. Bit of youth, maybe, a bit starstruck possibly, but didn't really see an early ball opening. One where Yarmolenko was actually running through. If he just quickly looked up and just played a forward passer, instead of just trying to hold the ball, if he'd taken that chance, whether it come off or not, at least everybody could see you're trying to, thread a ball through. And I think that's where our problem lies. I think there is something ingrained within the players to not to give the ball away, or not to risk anything where you concede possession. There's got to be something like that, because there's so many opportunities for us in the final third or around the final third to actually put that ball forward and create opportunities. You can't tell me we haven't got the quality, because the quality is there. Yes, the players are not on song, but the quality is there. There's some great crossfield balls being played. Not necessarily tonight from Noble, but he has certainly in his locker. Anderson was playing a lot better. Fornals had some good moments as well in the game. Snodgrass again was industrious. Back four were okay. I thought Creswell was struggling with Traore on that side, on that left hand side, or Traore's right hand side, I should say. But I wouldn't put that down to Creswell. That fellow is just a quality lad, and I think he got man of the match as well, and quite rightly so, because he was causing problems all day. They are a good side going forward. They were getting more possession. They were actually doing more with their possession, whereas we're not. And, I think we've got to, again, get back to the drawing board and look at not necessarily the tactics, because it was good that, Pellegrini has changed it up a little bit. He's tried to give Anderson more of a free floating role in there. And I think it worked well. I think in this role, in this new Anderson role, if you like, I think we as a team are a bit naive or a bit immature to that role. I think if we can just persist with it and support this role for Anderson, and other players start to adapting to it, then I think we've got an opportunity to actually start improving. But he's got to stay in that role now. If he starts being put on the left-hand side, this is not going to work. So he has to stay in there. But, we go to Arsenal. Well, Arsenal come to us next, on Monday night. This is going to be a tough game for us to, possibly, get a draw, maybe get a win. But we've got to bounce back. It's as simple as that. We've got to bounce back. Did any of us really think that we could go up there and we, get another win? I thought it was going to be difficult, and I'm sure a lot of you thought it was going to be difficult, because they are a good side, and it's no easy task going up to Molineux in the midweek anyway. But I think, it still shows that we have fundamental issues with our ability to get it out of defence into midfield and then retain possession, or make forward plays, be a bit more courageous with our creativity and actually go for it. Yeah, we tried a few long balls that just weren't, coming off, a few balls over the top. you get the impression that we're in these last two games we've jumped up 5%. In the Chelsea game we jumped 10%. Now we kind of went back 5%, but we're still 5% better than we were. I think what we need to do is just get up to 10, 15%, all over the park. Defensively, we're better, Balbuena, Ogbonna. I thought Ogbonna had a great game in many ways. A couple of times, if it wasn't for him, putting the player off, Jimenez, I think certainly one when he was clear on goal. We could have easily conceded another couple of goals. So I put that down to him. So, he played really well for me. I think Frederick struggled a little bit. Creswell struggled because he was just outpaced really by Traore. I think Noble struggled a little bit, as did Rice at times. Most part he was okay, but Rice at times. But for me, overwhelmingly, the player that struggled the most was Haller, and it's just not putting in the work rate that we demand. And I think this is, as I said before, this is about him adapting to the Premier League and also adapting to the way we are playing him, the way Pellegrini is playing him. Yes, he's lone striker at the time, and maybe he's not getting the support, and maybe he's not, getting the runners off him. But he's not also, performing up to the line either. He needs to show a lot more, and he needs to be more industrious. And the comparison is between Antonio, who was injured, and not even there tonight, and him. Antonio, you would imagine, would have made things happen, would have been the pest. He would have demanded a bit more attention. He would have put them under pressure a little bit more. And as soon as your strikers are working harder and putting their defence under pressure or making runs and, getting defenders to look over their shoulder and wonder where that striker is, as soon as they start doing that, then that relieves the pressure off your midfielder and off your defence. And I just don't think we had it tonight with Haller. It just wasn't good enough. This was an opportunity for him to come back after the Chelsea game, where he was dropped from the starting line, and Antonio had such a great start, and he just didn't prove himself for me tonight. I don't know, but let me know what you think. But I thought he had a lot. He had a lot more to prove tonight, and he just didn't show it. We've got to do better going forward. There's no doubt, but we've got to do better with our passing, our first touch, second touch, and how we're looking to open up defences. We have flashes of quick thinking where we're either putting a long ball over the top or a crossfield ball, nice diagonal ball, quick exchange of feet. But they're flashes. It isn't consistent enough. Most of the time, it's sort of plodding, methodical, backwards, side to side. There were lots of opportunities where we could have driven right into the heart of their defence, or just taken a shot. Just even if it's a 35-yard punt, go for it, because that's better than nothing. A couple of times, there's a bit of ping pong in the penalty area. The ball would come out, to the 20-yard, let's say 25 yards. Anderson was there, and I was just screaming, just take a shot, just do something. Make them make a save. Make their goalkeeper, whatever his name is, I've forgotten his name is now. Patricio, make a save. Like Fornals did with his shot. Just go for it, because if you're not even shooting, then you're never even going to have a chance of winning a game, and that's where we're at. We are still really wanting going forward, and we're still really wanting in. Our ability to create enough chances, and we're just not doing it. We're not doing enough, not with Haller, and we should be playing to his strengths, but he needs to work up his work rate, because what happens is it just puts extra pressure on our defence. And as a team, as good as Wolves are, You know, if you let any team get better and better, more possession, and get the confidence just to keep on going forward and put pressure on our defence, that will only get worse throughout the game, and basically it did. We had opportunities to get back into the game. I thought, you know, when it was 1-0, we could have cheekily got a goal, perhaps, you know, if we were able to create a goal scoring opportunity to level the match, to go, you know, get a pointer, you know, an undeserved point, let's say. But then they got their, you know, second goal, and it was, you know, it was game over by then. You know, there wasn't a lot to say. Look, part of me wants to have a big rant and say this is terrible. You know, we just rubbish going forward, and we let 2 goals in, and oh, it's all disaster, and sack Pellegrini and all that. But actually, part of me is a lot happier with this result, although it was a loss, because I'm a lot happier with the performance as opposed to a couple of weeks ago when it was really poor performance. At least with this, we had something there. There was something to still hope for, I think. There's something there that we can still see that we're almost there from producing a good performance and a committed performance and a successful performance. I don't think we're that far off, but we need Antonio. It's as simple as that. We need Antonio in there. We need Anderson to stay in the middle and flourish in that role. We need other players working off him. That work rate, that in the final third or in midfield into going forward, needs to be stepped up as well. Defence have stepped up. They've got better. Balbuena, Ogbonna performance partnership is a lot better. Martin in goal and the back is doing all right as well. You know, we just need that extra push now. We started really well. We started, you know, defending really well. Then we let the goal in. Wolves got better in. We were getting sloppy going forward. In lots of mistakes all over the park. But, you know, it was a very disappointing result, but I don't think it was a total disaster of a performance. There was a glimmer of hope, and perhaps that's where I'll leave it. There's a glimmer of hope. Right, catch you on the next Grumble, but hopefully it will be an OYI show. But see you after the Arsenal game. Up the Hammers.